Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaiya, and today we are going to get started on a brand new series on this channel where every single Friday I give you an album of the week. So for week 1, we are going to be doing Midnight Priest and their third album, Aggressive Hauntings. Midnight Priest is a heavy metal band from Portugal, and as I said, this is their third studio album. This did come out in 2019. It features 10 songs coming in at around 35 minutes. I do have the vinyl that I'm going to show you today. I'm going to warn you, though, that this physical copy was very difficult to get. It was purchased off of Discogs. They do have limited copies of the actual vinyl, so it was kind of hefty on Discogs, and then on top of that we waited 3 months to actually get the vinyl sent to us from Poland, and that was not the fault of the sellers though, but just so you know, it was difficult. So originally I found out about this band just literally on YouTube from their algorithm. It was like right before a Twitch listening party, and it just showed up in my feed, and I was like, that looks really cool. I saw the album cover and I instantly clicked on it and just like heard the first 30 seconds of the album, which is the first track is called The Law, and it is a instrumental featuring 100% like church organ. So I just listened to 30 seconds of that and I was like, yes, yes, I want to listen to more of that. And Twitch chat seemed to really like it. And then after the stream, I listened to the rest of it and was super excited when my fiance told me he had already listened to this album and was interested in ordering a physical copy for our collection. So this record is an absolute beast. As I said, they're a Portuguese heavy metal band. So if you're a fan of King Diamond, especially if you're a fan of Judas Priest, you would like this band. There's a little bit of Motorhead elements in here, as well as High Spirits. So really the biggest influences here are going to be Judas Priest and King Diamond. I'm going to show you my vinyl copy. I mean, this vinyl itself, it's just so cool. Like, look at the album art. It screams King Diamond, right? So it features a blonde girl with a scratch on her arm. She's wearing a cute little pearl white nightgown. She's got a ghostly looking woman spirit in the mirror, looking like she's gonna be violent with whatever dagger she's got in her hand. And then there's the back with a crow sitting on top of another little dagger. So this album is an absolute blast. This band is relatively new to the scene. They've been around for probably about 5 years or so. And I have to say, the packaging for this, like what they gave us in this vinyl, was just awesome. For it being just like a single slip, it's not even a gatefold, girl. And we have so much cool shit that came in here, and I feel like you know, some metal bands should take note. So we first got a poster, which is just the album cover, so I'll show you that. We got a nice close-up of Miss Blondie here. Absolutely love the blonde girl on here. She's like super cute. Off topic, but you know, it doesn't hurt that she's a little cute, right? And then along with the insert that is you know, features the lyrics. Also look at this band photo in the corner here. They look so freaking cool. Here's some more lyrics over here. So along with the lyrics sheet for the insert, you also get a patch. And this is, it is a woven patch too. So this is not just, I believe it's woven. I don't think it's just printed, because it looks like I can see individual stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's woven. But that's really cool, because patches, if you know, they're not cheap really to make. And then you do get a Dope AF sticker. So that's a really nice big sticker. And then this really cool postcard featuring the band. I mean, look at that photo. It's just super cool. Nice black and white photo with the band logo, empty postcard, which you can send to a loved one if you want to. But I just think that that's very unique, and just a lot to offer a listener in a record, in a vinyl record. I just feel like that's cool. They get free merch for buying your album, which is how it should be, right? But I will show you the vinyl now, because that's the most important part. So my camera's not going to do justice for it, but this is a nice light neon green. It's a little transparent, but it's just one solid color, but it's kind of this like highlighter green, almost like, neon green slime goo kind of color. Very, very transparent and light on camera, but it's a little more solid slime green, yellow in person. So as I said, this album is very similar to King Diamond, Iron Maiden. The mixing and production to start off with is very crisp, very clean, but not in like an overproduced way. It's not too clean. It's just very nicely mastered and produced. The guitars especially are very high in the mix, as well as the drums, but the guitars are really the driving force of this album. There's so many catchy riffs here, and just the drums are very well recorded, and it's just a very fun record. So it's very similar to King Diamond's like Them or Conspiracy album. Now, unfortunately, this album is not a concept record. As much as I want it to be a concept record, and as much as it looks like one, it isn't one. But there is an overall theme between each of the songs. It's about hauntings, things that go bump in the night, creepy things. Even they have, songs, Aggressive Hauntings, the title track. They also have Eyes in the Dark, Funeral. So they do have songs on here that reflect that kind of Halloween themed heavy metal. The King Diamond, attic style heavy metal. So if you're really into that kind of writing style in your heavy metal, then you would really like Midnight Priest. But they also play around with other styles of heavy metal. Like I said, there's Judas Priest elements here, some Motorhead here, as well as some Metal Lucifer elements here. If you've ever listened to Heavy Metal Chainsaw, for example, I think that is heavily reflected in songs like On Your Knees for metal specifically. And then again, I mentioned High Spirits, which is another like relatively new heavy metal hard rock band. But I think the cleans that are within High Spirits records are reflected here with songs like Holy Flesh and Black Leather House of Pain. So if you're really into all of those things, you get all of those elements on this record. Vocally, the singer Lex Thunder, I think, is very similar to King Diamond. He doesn't hit the super high falsettos like what King does, but it's almost there. It's about half of his high register, but really he sounds very similar to him in kind of his lower range, not necessarily just his cleans, but his lower growls, I guess you could say. And it's just a solid record. I think my favorite songs on here are definitely Sin for Satan, Holy Flesh. I loved On Your Knees for Metal because, again, it gave me that kind of cheesy heavy metal vibes like with Metal Lucifer, Heavy Metal Chainsaw, that type of thing. And then I do like the Halloween vibes in my heavy metal, so that's what you get in the first few songs, especially with the title track being called Aggressive Hauntings. You're talking about literally a ghost, so it's perfect for if you want to feel spooky when it's not spooky season, or you want to prep yourself for Halloween, right? So I will say this album also flies by super quickly. So even though it's 10 songs, 35 minutes, like it flies by like that. And the songs are like in the same pocket of about 3.5 to 4 minutes, but they just fly by, and they're super, super catchy, well mixed, well mastered. And it's just a very pleasant listening experience. So really the only downside I have of this is that it's not a concept record, which it doesn't take away anything from the album, but that I want it to be a concept record. So I really, really loved the title track, Aggressive Hauntings. I love the song Iron Heart. It reminded me a lot of High Spirits. I really, really liked On Your Knees for Metal, like I said. So if you are interested in checking this out, I would check it out on YouTube first. It is streaming for free right now, at least the last time I checked. So that's the first place that I would go to find this record, is digitally, because as I said, the physical copies of Aggressive Hauntings by Midnight Priest, this is going to be a difficult record to add to your collection if you're interested in buying this physically as like on a vinyl. I'm not totally sure about the CDs or tapes, if they have any. I don't even know if they honestly have tapes. It looks like it's CD, digital, or vinyl. So if you want it on CD, you might be able to find it on Discogs. Vinyl is going to be, it might be a little tricky, just to forewarn you if you like the sound of this record. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and the first installment of our Album of the Week series. Once again, this is Midnight Priest, Aggressive Hauntings, their third album. I will also mention that their first 2 records are actually fully in Portuguese. So there are several reviewers who mentioned this, and some of them said they preferred this Aggressive Hauntings album because it was in English and because it just sounded better and they could understand it, and it was just more of a polished record in English. But then there were also people that said they preferred the Portuguese heavy metal albums that they released prior to this, and they preferred that sound and the lyrics and, you know, the sound of the language, I guess you could say, with the music behind it, in comparison to the English version, which they didn't really like. So to each their own. This may or may not affect you, and you may or may not like this album over the previous ones, but just know, if you're interested in kind of going through the entire discography, the first 2 are fully in Portuguese. So yeah. So you can't have a video without knocking the mic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for album number 2 for our Album of the Week series. Take care, you guys.